So we will start seated today. And as always, I have to come in and adjust my screen. That's like my first yoga pose of the morning. I wanted to first of all, again, express my appreciation for being able to practice yoga with all of you. And if you're with me in real time, it's a Friday in March. And in fact, I just realized St. Patrick's Day. So happy St. Patrick's Day for those with me today. We will find the pot of gold, I think, in our practice. And I will hopefully be recording this, so maybe you're watching it at another time. But in any case, just finding a comfortable position on our mats to start with. I'm going to begin with a little technique I've shared before. Once you get comfortable, just warming the hands up a little bit, taking a few breaths, and then using your fingertips to pat at the area of the sternum. And then underneath the collarbones towards the shoulders and back. And this is a technique, I believe it's probably from Qigong. It works with certain acupressure points. It can have a very calming effect. It helps us to relax the chest and deepen the breath. But if you need to be uplifted a bit or energized, it can also kind of help you to counter sleepiness or grogginess or sluggishness at some time of day also. So we'll just keep it going, tapping, tapping, tapping. And then I'd like to today just take the movement of one hand to the chest and down to the belly. Okay, so this is known as Qi Chen Dantian, bringing the Qi to the lower abdominal area, the Dantian, a storehouse of energy. And we'll bring both hands to the belly. There may be a few sound effects outside the room here out of my control, so my apologies if you hear different noises today. But we will find the peace within, just beginning to attune to the breath. And with the hands to the belly, you may feel the belly expanding and releasing with each inhalation and each exhalation. Whenever you feel like it, you can bring the hands to the knees or thighs and just stay with that breath, the diaphragmatic breathing I've been talking about. Maybe a slight extension of the exhalation for the real calming effect. Ujjayi breath, if you know that and want to practice it. And we notice maybe just the shoulders relaxing, the face softening, just kind of almost like a soft blanket is being put over us, or just something comforting as we come to this nice steady breath. Take a moment, if you would, just scan, notice how you're feeling today. Physical sensation, energy levels, emotions. Being self-aware is part of our practice. And then, as we usually do, we'll take a moment to lift the hands, any height that you want to go. Sometimes really high is nice, sometimes in between. But considering a thought, a feeling, an intention or dedication for the day, for the practice, for the days ahead. I was reflecting on a difference, if there is one, between gratitude and appreciation. I'm not sure about that, but I have to say the thought, the word, the feeling of appreciation came to me, and I like that, maybe similar to gratitude, but just a little different sound to it. Connection, clarity, peace, whatever resonates. And with our intention set, big breath in, hands together, down to the heart. Let's take that again, just to oxygenate the body. Inhale. Exhale, we'll stretch out the legs, and we will do a set on our backs today. Just felt like a good day for that. So if you would just come on down with care. Have a little pillow for under your head if you want to. And hopefully the microphone is getting to my voice and you can hear things, but I'll be doing everything also. So a full body stretch to start with. Wiggle fingers and toes. Bring one knee in. You can lift your head if you want to. Tuck the chin a little bit. And then relax the head, bring the other knee in. Take a couple of seconds. And then with your head to the floor, we'll lift the arms and legs, take our freestyle movement. We do this just about every practice because it feels good. Keeps our joints happy. And then speaking of the joints, I thought we would do développé today. That's a French word, I guess, I think used in ballet. So we're going to have one foot to the floor and then one leg that we're going to be activating. We want to be using core muscles here, feel good and stable on your back. And we flex the foot and extend the leg, come down, and then point the toes, bend the leg, and come back up. And I always say, like you're pedaling a bicycle, but just with one leg. Really try to get your foot going with this, flexing and pointing. And after develope, we have a little kicking movement. And the first one is kind of about, I don't know, maybe a third of the way down to the floor and back. So it does activate the core muscles, it works the leg. My foot is flexed. I'm going not super fast, but at a pretty good pace. And then we follow with this kind of pumping action, not going quite as far down and up with the leg, but here sort of moving a little more rapidly. Your leg is nice and warm now. We'll take it into figure 4, ankle to thigh. And you could lift your foot off the floor again. You can lift your head if you want to. So figure 4 is sort of a, individual thing, noticing what your hips and knees are saying today. And then we'll come down, and those who are in the mood and ready for a gentle twist can take the top foot over to the opposite side. So I have not done this one yet today, so I'll probably hear or feel some little sound effects in the spine as I come into this first twist. We'll come back out. We'll have a moment of freestyle again, just fly and float. And then develop to the second side. So it's one foot to the floor. Tuck the tailbone a little bit so we're not overarching the lower back. We're engaging tummy muscles here to keep ourselves stable. And then that leg is straight, the foot flexes, and the toes point. And we just kind of pedal our old bicycle around with just one leg. I like this one a lot. I feel it in the back of the knee sometimes, and I like what it does for the ankle joint. And then we'll have our legs straight. So the first movement here is that one where we go down and up, and actually not quite as fast with this deeper movement towards the floor and back, a little slower. And then the faster move is that kind of quick, kind of pulsing, not going too far down, not going too far up. Try to keep the foot flexed. Good. And then ankle to the thigh or knee. And you have your figure 4 here. I always just seem to like to lift my head for whatever reason, just for a couple seconds. And then with the head down, you can consider taking the twist of the foot over to the opposite side. Ooh, notice what you feel here. Try to relax the shoulders. And then we'll come back and we'll just have a final moment just to move around with arms and legs. And let's bring ourselves up to seated. So you could come over to one side or rock up, whatever feels best. Take a moment or two to recalibrate here, let your body adjust. And let's see if I can remember what I had planned. When in doubt, let's do some circles, and then my brain will get in order and remember what was going on for real in my sequencing today. So circling, just really nice for the back, for the internal organs. And then we'll go the other way. Circling, great. Yes, so it's all coming back to me now. I think there was a song with those lyrics. One leg straight, one leg bent. And first off here, kind of leveling the pelvis. And then I'm just going to have us extend the arms. I've been doing this recently. I really like this, elongation of the spine. It's kind of a combination of propping up the sky and staff or stick pose. And then we're going to carefully come forward, bring the hands towards the ankle of the straight leg. And we'll do what you can consider either a little archery practice or playing the harp. If you want to choose a visual, playing the harp is kind of fun. So about 3 times with that nice deep stretch. Okay, and hold here. If your neck agrees to it, you can look up towards your top hand. And since we're this far along, we might just plant the hand to the floor and have the possibility of Ardha Mandalasana. Another move I do pretty regularly because there's so many ways to take it. You can move your head, move your top arm, just kind of learn about new nooks and crannies in your yoga space. And come down. Great. And we'll do the wave just to neutralize here. So legs out in front, arms coming forward and back. And then the second side. So one leg straight, one leg bent. And we do want to kind of level the pelvis so we're not, rounding back or tucking the tailbone under too much. We'll prop up the sky or take staff or stick, however you want to think of this. really just sitting nice and tall. I have my palms facing today, just kind of enjoying the feeling of the energy between the hands. And then we'll come down towards the ankle, and you can draw the bow or play the harp or whatever other image comes to mind. One more time. We're going to hold the arm in that lifted position. You can follow the hand with your gaze if you want to. Okay, bringing the hand to the floor, and those who want to can lift to Ardha Mandalasana. All those different possibilities, looking around, moving around a little bit, maybe with the top arm. Getting some weight bearing work in also. And then we'll come down, and I do like the wave action in between moves, because it does, as I always say, neutralize. It elongates the spine and just kind of brings us back to a steady place before we continue on. And we're going to continue on, you guessed it, with boat pose. And I was thinking I had some amazing version of boat that we hadn't done for a while. And then, of course, I couldn't remember what it was. So here's one that we have done somewhat recently, but it's a little bit of a different kind of thing. It's where we tilt a little bit to one side, take the legs towards the outer corner of your mat, tilt the other side and other way. So it's a little tricky on the sits bones. If you have anything, going on in your hips or hip or sits bones area, tailbone area, this is not going to feel comfortable. But otherwise, it's definitely a little side core strengthener. And I've seen it done with hands off the floor, but if I do that, I'll probably tip over today. So I'm going to keep my hands down. Okay, and you could also be doing traditional boat, of course, and you could be done with boat altogether if you're ready for that. Okay, and then we will just take a little counter stretch, taking the legs out, and you can flex the feet if you want to, or relax and breathe in. And breathe out. Just draw some big circles with your arms. Inhale. And exhale. Plant the fingertips to the earth. Just appreciating this moment in time, appreciating the shared practice that we have, whether in real time or, at any time that you may be seeing this recording, assuming that it works. And then shaking the legs out. And we'll come on to the knees. Now we just drew some circles with the arms. I'm going to do that again. And I don't know if this relates to the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow or what, but I had a particular movement that came to me earlier, and I'm going to share it with you. It's a little different. So once you get onto your knees, we're going to shoot the arms up. And then, like a little fairy dust, we're going to just wiggle and sprinkle the fingers down to the earth. Okay, so just like you're showering yourself with all good things here today, light and positive energy. Ooh, flutter, flutter. I'll do one more round. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Just roll the shoulders. And I thought today, to change things up just a little bit, would come onto the forearms, interlacing the fingers so you have a tripod position. And before we go into our first down dog, which will be a forearm down dog, we'll just shift back and forth a little bit. And in fact, why don't we get, after about 3 rounds of back and forth, get our scorpion pose in, since it's nice to do that when we're on the forearms. So we just take the shoulders about over the elbows, and we lift one leg, and we point the toes, and the leg is still bent, but the toes go up and over to the other side. And we're going to shift our gaze, see if we see some toes floating up there in the distance somewhere. And coming down. And second side to lift and open. Okay, see if your toes are there. Hello, hello. Luckily they are. And then back. Now pause here if you would, just for a moment, because we've had our heads down already in the poses that we've done on the forearms. If you'd rather do a traditional down dog, that's fine. But if you are okay here on the forearms for a bit longer, we could do our down dog with the forearms to the mat. And we'll just get a really nice sense of traction in the spine. I like to relax my head here. Now I'm trying to not clench my hands too tight. I talked about that the other day. You can find kind of a medium grip for stability, but not creating any tension. And we'll come down to the knees. I'm going to have us come up slowly because our heads have been down. You can do a little more fairy dust if you want to. Sprinkle that magic dust over you. Inhale. Exhale. And then a plank pose came to me just not too long ago, which I thought we could do today, which is bear plank. And I'm going to offer a combination of bear plank up to a modified down dog and then into crouching tiger. Okay, so those names may be familiar to some of you, and I'll be doing what I'm describing. So the flow will be coming with these different poses here. So bear pose, the shoulders are over the wrists. The spine is really long, so I'm not extending or flexing the spine. And the first couple seconds, no big deal. But then pretty soon we feel a lot of work in the arms and the legs and the core. So my thought today is to go back to that bent-legged downward dog. And then this is where we have our crouching tiger flow. You may need to move your feet back a little bit or your hands forward so you can pounce forward like a tiger in the grass and come to a plank pose. We'll take a brief child's pose to rest and relax. And then I am going to do that whole thing 2 more times. Okay, so bear plank. You choose your bear, polar, grizzly, black bear, whatever your preference. I'm going to hold for a little bit here. You can always go to downward dog if you don't want to hold plank this long. Okay, and then if you need to stretch the legs out and down dog first, feel free, of course, just kind of feeling comfortable with this. But then we're going to go into that bent-legged position, crouching, and then crouching tiger, pouncing forward. Okay, holding here to the knees and down. I'm going to do one more round. I'm going to go a little faster, and I'm going to hold that last plank a little bit longer. Okay, so the bear pose, we've been in this 3 times, so we'll just hold for a couple seconds. Crouching tiger here. You can, if you want to stretch out the legs first and then bend. Bounce forward, shoulders over the wrists, nice and strong. Here's where we'll hold a bit if you care to. We'll go to child's pose afterwards. And remember, you can always intensify, touching one hand to the opposite shoulder, or whatever it may be. And then just when you feel ready to come on down, open the knees nice and wide. You can always stay on the forearms and keep the hips up a little if your knees are happier with that. If you're okay going all the way down, you might stack your hands, support your forehead. Really feel the warmth of the body because we've been pretty active here. You can just feel your heartbeat. Just feel how nice it is to be solid on the earth. The sound of the breath, which is always present. And then we'll come up. Let's just come up slowly. Ooh. And we're going to come to table. I thought we'd get into a lunge. And if you want to just pause in table and decide if you want to get into the low lunge from table or downward dog. And I guess I will start with my right leg. And, honestly, when I have less going on in my life, if that ever is the time, I'll start switching up left and right sides. But I am just staying with what is familiar today. So the right foot forward to begin with. And however you get that foot to the top of the mat, then you can bring your left knee down. We'll come up. Make sure you have enough padding for your left knee because we're going to do the wave hands. Palms up, coming forward. Palms down, coming back. Going with the flow. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. All the way up with the arms. And we'll go right into prayer twist. If you have your right foot forward, it's your left elbow to your right knee. So it might look something like this. There are days when we feel capable of lifting the back leg. So see if that's the case for you today. And then there are moments where we want to open the arms. So just see how the twist is working for you. Take the variation that feels best. And we'll unwind. I've been giving the option for a while now of coming to plank or table. And then down to the belly if you want to, or right to child's pose. So I'll do this little flow from cobra. And I'll take child's pose. It's possible to go into down dog also. And I'll just take a couple seconds here. And then we'll have our lunge on the second side from table or downward dog. And we'll lift the left leg if that's your second side, down dog splits towards the top of the mat and bring that foot through. However you get it safely to the top of the mat is fine. It doesn't have to be hugely graceful. Good. We'll come up. We'll make sure we have enough padding for the right knee. And then we'll get into our wave hands. Always feels good to go with the flow in our practice, hopefully in our lives as well. Inhale, exhale. Let's do that 2 more times. Okay, and then we'll come back. We're going to come into prayer twist. Palms together, your right elbow over to your left knee. Okay, so I'm twisting away from the screen here, but same as on the first side, I'm going to look over my back shoulder and I may lift off of my back knee. And just because I did it on the first side, I might open my arms for a couple seconds. Okay, and then the same thing as before, you can come to table and go right to child's pose, or from plank or modified plank, come down to the belly, roll the shoulders back. I'm going to go briefly to child's pose, and then we're going to get up to standing. But take what feels best for you, a down dog or a child's pose. If you want a more active practice, you can do another flow. And then we'll be coming on up through table, a low squat, or downward dog, or something kind of a combination of any of those poses. Stepping or hopping the feet forward. And take your time coming up. And I'm going to adjust the screen here. I realize sometimes my head is cut off, so apologies. But as I say, you don't really need to see the top of my head. You know it's there. So I am going to do a mudra, which is the thumb to the pad of the middle finger. And you may remember this is, I believe, called Akasha mudra. And this is a mudra that can be quite uplifting. It can be a mudra that can open us to a feeling, a thought, an intent of new possibilities and new potential. So sometimes change is difficult, sometimes situations are daunting. And just, if we can bring a mindset in of being open and positive and considering that there are new potentials and new possibilities that we can enjoy out there, I think it's a good thing. So that's what this mudra is about, Akasha mudra. And just take a moment or two. Okay, and then I'm going to wake everybody up because I know that you're not asleep, but this will get everybody really, really awake if you're not already. It's going to be a move from Qigong, and you do need some space around you. There's a little clapping involved. And if you have pets or people in your environment who don't want to hear the sound, you can just kind of tap your hands lightly. If, like me, you don't care if you make noise and no one else does, you can make a nice little bit of sound overhead and behind. Okay, so again, from Qigong. And bend the legs a little as you come back with the hands. Just keep it going. A little bit longer. Okay, finishing up. And we'll just feel the energy, the sense of the chi in our palms, radiating through our arms. Why don't we take the feet a little wider and just play with chi here. So you all know this is just a movement where you really feel that you're connecting to that vital energy of your being and of the universe, all united. And it's just kind of a, nice way to just move gently and fluidly with that ball of chi between your hands. And we'll finish up. And breathe in and breathe out. Now again, to change things up a little bit today, so we go ahead and take the feet wide. And this is not usually the starting phase of the standing practice, but for today it will be. And I thought a little stirring the pot would be in order. So maybe you're stirring up your St. Patrick's Day specialty, whatever that is. I guess there are a lot of things that are meant to be consumed on the 17th of March, but probably won't be consuming them. We'll just stir though, all good things. And you can go pretty deep with that wide squat if you want to. Stirring both directions. All good things here. And then we'll pause. And a couple of traditional yoga poses next. And why don't I have you go to your left? I've been kind of trying to change up the direction that I start you to in this phase of things. And then we warrior two. So a nice wide stance, turning your toes a quarter of a turn, extending your arms. Now, we don't want to be shifting and wiggling the pelvis to the side. We want to kind of engage the pelvic floor and the core to level the pelvis. And then as you extend the arms, just turn to go over your fingertips, soften your gaze, follow your breath. Just really feel yourself in this moment, here and now. A couple more seconds. And then we'll straighten the leg that's bent. We're going to take it into Trikonasana, triangle pose. I have my blocks over in the corner there, but if your block is nearby, it's quite nice to bring a hand to a block or to your leg, or for some of you to the floor. And the top arm lifted if that works, looking up towards the ceiling and breathing. And lifting out of Trikonasana. Let's take that Sharira Mudra I've been doing for a while now, hands to the hips. Good, just kind of grounding ourselves. And then preparing for side two, warrior two, Virabhadrasana two. So remember, we're not doing this, we're engaging and leveling the pelvis and extending the arms, softening the gaze. Just a steady breath in and out. And steady and strong, clear. Just a little bit longer here. Okay, triangle pose is next. Maybe with your block, maybe your hand all the way to the floor, maybe like me, your hand on your shin or your leg. And looking up towards the ceiling. Come back up this time. Let's take the breath with the hands, inhaling and exhaling, and just feel the energy of your body. Take a moment to really assimilate what you've done. Let the cells send all their messages one to the other here and there. And then we will take a little more archery practice today. This is also from Qigong. It's a Qigong kind of day, I guess. This is the one where we take a nice deep horse stance. We bend the arms. And if you want to make an L shape with one hand and a bent arm with a gentle fist with the other, you take the movement like so. Now holding a couple of seconds, so you're staring at your index finger. This is good for mental acuity as well as for the physical body. And then just soften the stance a little bit as you come to center and draw your bow. If you're imagining that, look to the second side. Okay, moving a little bit here. We'll go once more to each side so we can really feel it in the legs. Good. Second round here. And you kind of, you want to keep your elbow pretty level to the ground, but kind of pull it back a little bit. Okay, my legs are nice and warm. I'm going to ask a bit more of them. Just second side here. And breathing, just soft in the face and in the eyes. And then back, same breath as before. Inhale and exhale, step heel toe or hop the feet together. And I think it might feel good, just hands to the hips to take a little shake here. Because those quadricep muscles were working hard with the pose we just did. You can also do a little standing twist if you want to. And then we will be coming to the top of the mat for the next phase of the standing practice. And I'll invite you just to find your standing mountain pose here. There will be a balance coming up. So if you need a chair or the wall or anything like that, you could have that handy right now. We'll just take our time here to stand nice and tall. And then dropping the arms and lifting as we inhale. Holding as we exhale, hands to the thighs, shins are to the floor, the right foot back. Virabhadrasana 1. Now circle the arms once here. And then as you come up, we're actually going to go into a crescent pose. So the right arm will come back, the left arm will stay up, and we want to engage the tummy. You're facing forward. And with crescent pose, you can arch back and look up. And sometimes what I like to do is to bring the hand to the back of the head. Okay. And so I'm going to get a nice little stretch here. And then reverse crescent, we look over the back shoulder. And then we come back. Now I'm going to bring the hands a little closer together on my back. So this is like the cow face arm position. And I'm going to get that into a back bend. And then guess what? We are going to balance. And I warned you, so I'm moving my foot back so I don't bump into the wall here. I'm going to try it with this arm position in place. This should be Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3, but with what is known as the cow face arm combination. Okay, the left hand behind your head, right hand behind your back. So it takes quite a bit of concentration here. Come up when you feel complete. You might even just stand tall with the arms as they are. And then 2 feet to the floor, breathe in, and we'll do a half sun salute, holding forward, breathing out, all the way up. And let's go right back to prayer position and to the top of your mat, more or less, wherever you want to be for the second side of this flow. We'll drop the arms and lift as we inhale. And come down, hands to the thighs, shins are to the floor as you exhale, left foot back. Coming all the way up. I usually have a little adjustment here, just kind of getting my feet in order. And then we'll come up and your left arm will spiral back to your left leg. Right arm is extended. And you can look up, you can bend your top arm and see what you see. Notice what you feel. The reverse crescent, we look back over the left shoulder. And then we'll see if we can connect here. Well, maybe not connect. Some of you might hook your fingers, but really more connecting by just sort of touching both hands to the back. And I'm just going to turn so you can see what that is. Yes, it looks like this. Giving you different views of it, but you're standing your warrior 1. Okay, so I'm going to get a little bit more of a back bend in here. Ooh. And then the little press off of that back foot. Okay, this is tricky, especially since the furniture in my room no longer exists. So I don't have so much to fix my gaze on, but so far so good. See how your balance feels. Good, the feet are working hard, as are the ankles and of course the leg. Come out when you're ready. 2 feet to the floor, and we'll retrieve the moon from the sea here. So for this one, we bend down like you're scooping up a round orb of light and tossing it in the sky. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, exhale. And then I'm going to have a final mudra. You might want to just bring the hands to the belly for a moment. So talking about the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, you know what? We have that pot of gold, that treasure within. So let's do the treasure chest mudra. It's called Samputa mudra. The hands are cupped. I should have the right hand on top. Okay, I'm just showing it over here. And Samputa mudra, it's one of my favorite mudras. It's just holding something dear close to you. Whatever that is for you, just have it resonate in a positive way today. And even on days where, we have things going on that are challenging, if we bring our intent to that, which is, treasureful to us, I think it can have a good effect. And Puta Mudra, treasure chest mudra. And then we'll release. And there is time here, of course, for our Qi wash. We've had a few moments of reflection already standing in stillness and with mudras. So if you'd rather balance or forward fold or anything like that, you're welcome to. But I do really enjoy the moment or two before coming down to the floor to have a standing meditation, the Qi wash being a chance to really just kind of ground into both feet, to visualize a beautiful vista or actually see one out your window or look at some artwork or photo that motivates you. And just visualize light or positive energy washing through you, around you, into every cell. So it's just our understanding here, our faith that all of this goodness is becoming a part of our being. What we don't need is washing away. And when you are complete with your Qi wash, take a little moment just to, take any movement you want to. Certainly a little hydration is a good idea. We're going to come down. Oh, actually, we're going to come onto our stomachs today, so not too much hydration. Just a sip. I'm going to do something, again, a little differently at this point. Adjust my screen first. And yeah, I thought we'd come on to our stomachs for this next phase of things. So once you have taken care of anything you need to take care of, you can come down any way you want to. Sometimes I'll take the slightly wider downward dog into a slightly wide-legged plank. Now, there are times when I've done a push-up here, and now I do little mini lightweight push-ups. So this feels better in my joints, but you can stay as long as you want, do push-ups if you want to, and then just bring yourself down with care. I'm going to give us a nice little pause here because we deserve it, right? Just relaxing, relaxing, settling on the earth, bending the legs and windshield wiping the feet side to side. And then this is maybe an oldie but a goodie for the gluteal muscles. We're going to have the legs bent, the feet flexed, and we lift one thigh off the floor and then lower it back down. Okay, so let's try that 3, 4, or 5 times. Right, and then no surprise, we do the same thing with the second side. Up and down, and down. Okay, waking up a few muscles there that get a little sleepy on us. Now the tricky part is to try to do both legs at the same time. And try not to scrunch up the shoulders, which I usually have to remind myself not to do. So up and down, just to whatever height you get to. It's really a different sort of movement than our body's used to. Okay, when you've done as many rounds as you want to, take the knees a little wider, bring the soles of the feet together. Okay, just settle so you're comfy here. And then this is our frog-legged position. We're going to bring the toes down towards the floor and then back up. Okay, listen to the hips on this one, outer hips for me especially. Here we go. Froggy, froggy. And one more time. Okay, so I do like getting that set in from time to time just to wake up the backside here. We're going to just stretch out the legs. Now, not everyone enjoys the wide-legged cobra. I say that every time I offer it, just so you make sure you do something else if it's not a pose you like. But if you do feel okay here, you can take your legs wide, hands a little farther forward, lift and lower. About 3 times. So for some people, this feels really good in the back. And if it doesn't, of course, you won't be doing it. Okay, now hold here. Relax the shoulders. You can move your head a little. I'm getting a little foot cramp, so I'm wiggling my foot. That's not part of the pose, but if you get a cramp, shake it out. And then we're going to just come up and back slowly to child's pose. We'll bring the hands back a bit, press on up, and possibly a little quick cat-cow would feel good before we go into child's pose. And then we'll just stretch out here and just take a little time to elongate. We'll come up to seated, and I just have just maybe a couple moments here in seated position planned, and then we'll come on down to our backs. I think it's nice just to usually have at least a moment or two seated before coming down for the last phase of the practice. So you take the legs wide, maybe fingers behind your hips, just lift the chest, open the heart, turn the toes in and out. This has a little bit of the same feeling maybe that we just had in our frog position on our bellies. Okay, sliding one hand down one leg, reaching up and over. And then to the other side, up and over. And then just a little yogi toe hold for this Friday practice. The yogi toe hold, as the name suggests, means connecting the hands to the big toes. We hinge at the hips, and if you don't get to the toes, that's fine. Just touch down to the shins, ankles, or wherever you get to. If you can get your toes without, rounding and doing this, that's the goal, so that we have a long spine. Chest is lifted, the gaze is slightly lifted, but maybe a slight tuck at the same time to the chin. So we just feel just these sort of channels of energy through the spine, through the arms, through the legs. Just letting that energy flow effectively through all parts of the body. A little bit longer in our toe hold. And then we'll release and bring the legs together. Now, if there's something else you want to add to the practice, you can sneak that in. And especially if this recording works and you're watching it at some other time, you can, stop the recording and do pigeon or anything else that might be good for your practice today. Otherwise, just join me coming on down, a full body stretch as we did earlier. And we'll just kind of elongate once again. And what would the Friday special be without a little turtle pose? This is the kind of similar to dead bug, but maybe a little more complex and kind of fun for the Friday practice, I think. So we're going to bring the knees in. I'll describe this in case anyone hasn't done it before. So I think it's called flying turtle or swimming turtle or dancing turtle, who knows, any kind of turtle you want. The legs are like so. The tummy and back muscles are all working here to keep us stable and steady. Now the arms cross, the wrists cross, so hands to the knees. And the top arm, you'll be able to extend back. And as you do that, take the leg opposite to it straight, just above the floor. Press the other hand into the knee and then come back. So we do the same side 3, 4, or 5 times. And if you do press the hand and the knee together, the ones that aren't moving, you really get a little more intensity with this. Ooh, I'm going to do one more. We'll take a break before the second side. So please just notice which arm is on top. I happen to have my left arm on top. Bring your arms down, bring your feet down. Windshield wipe the knees. Just relax, relax. Feeling appreciative once again of your strong and flexible body. And then we'll come back, setting ourselves up. Flying turtle, swimming turtle, dancing turtle, we don't know. Any kind of turtle. So my right hand is on top this time. Make sure it's your second side. And take the arm and the leg. I'm pressing the hand into the knee. Ooh, feeling a really interesting bit of effort with this one. I'm not going too fast. Good, maybe one more time. Sometimes I forget to press the hand into the knee. So remember to do that. When you feel like you've had enough, just bring the knees in very gently. Just rock really gently. Maybe happy baby here. Hands to the thighs, ankles, or to the outer edges of the feet. Okay, maybe even soles of the feet together and then coming down to reclined bound angle. And when I do this, I usually tuck the tailbone a little bit so the low back feels comfortable. And it could well be a time just to kind of rest and relax and hold the hands to the belly. There is a chance right now for poses of each person's choice. Maybe you want to stay in this restorative position. Maybe you want to do a bridge pose or a shoulder stand or a little supported bridge or shoulder stand on the block. Okay, so I'll just give you a few moments. I'm going to be coming up to seated, but you'll stay on your backs and take those poses that feel most excellent for your practice today. And I like it. I do miss seeing people in person, but I like the at-home option here because you can do whatever you want. And so in a group class, maybe people would be like, oh, I don't want to be doing that stretch because no one else is doing it. But y'all can just do any movement stretch, one we've already done, one that I've never even seen before, maybe. So just as long as it feels good. I'm going to just give you time to get yourself comfortable on your back. Once you've done those final poses and stretches, you want a nice full relaxation today. So as you are ready for Shavasana, you'll just take your arms by your side in your reclined position on your backs. A pillow maybe under your head or something under your knees just to release and relax the low back. It's great to close the eyes and then just to take a full breath in. That sense of oxygenating every cell. Exhale. Let go of what you don't need. Even if you don't know what that is, move it along. Another full breath in. And exhale. And just feel the weight of the body on the earth. Feel the support of the earth beneath you. Just let the breath be steady. Nothing at this moment that we need to fix or figure out. Nothing in this moment that we need to accomplish or achieve. So I'll take this time in stillness and silence, digesting what we've done, simply dropping back, releasing, relaxing, and letting go completely. I'm going to turn my microphone off because there were some sound effects out there. There'll be a little click when I turn it on again, so apologies for that, but it's better than hearing some of the noises that are going on outside here. So just stay in peace together. Now a click, sorry about that, but a moment right now, just to attune to our bodies again. You can stay still, just feel your body on the earth. Appreciate your chi signal, the sense of your energetic being. And then in your own time, we'll start to reawaken. Hands and feet, fingers and toes. You can yawn or make any sound that you want to. Relax the jaw. And come over to one side if you want, or come right up to seated. And we'll take our final phase of the practice. Again, there's a little noise outside there, so apologies if it's audible. I never quite know what this microphone is going to pick up. But as you come on back, a comfortable position here, and we'll just bring the hands together. And I think we'll do your choice, either V for victory or U for uplift and unity. And that being just two different options for the arm gesture. So more a V shape like this, which is just really nice and energizing. Or if you want just a little more relaxed gesture, kind of softening here. Just take a couple moments, just taking in this good energy that we've generated, appreciating our time together. We'll briefly touch the fingers down to the earth. And then let's bring our hands to prayer position, Anjali Mudra. And this will be the final mudra of the practice. It's a great one for coming to an awareness at the heart center. It's a great one for, again, appreciating the shared practice and the energy we generate. And then a mudra for coming back to our own intentions or affirmations if we have one. So I'll give you a moment to reflect upon those intentions you may have for today. And then we'll close the practice as we usually do with one round of Om, keeping the hands right at the heart. Sitting tall, inhaling to begin. Om Shanti, Shanti, peace. And let us take that moment to appreciate the peace around us. And then bowing our head, appreciating the peace, the light, the energy within. And then lifting our gaze to this great, wonderful yoga community, honoring the light, energy, and peace within one another with a namaste to all. Thank you all. Namaste. Have a great day. See you soon. I'm going to see if I can find my stop record button. That's always the fun ending here.